Hi Aquarius, welcome to your September reading. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. I was expecting to pick up where we left off last month, which was in a lot of pain, in a lot of grief, a lot of heartbreak. And while some of that is still there, it definitely feels more like residue. It feels like a lot of the purging has happened. And I was pleasantly surprised to feel a lighter, more positive energy around you. I felt this sense of like unicorns and rainbows are coming back, but they felt different this time. They didn't feel like they were coming from a naive place, or I will say like a more innocent place. They felt like directed at something specific. So there was a lot of creative energy behind it. There may be some things that you're going to be developing in terms of your path, in terms of how you express yourself. And I'm excited to tap into that and dive into it with you here in a few moments. But there's something that I've been really called to talk to you about. And in a sense, there's a reclaiming of your voice that's happening. And as I started even talking to you, I felt a shift in my voice and I feel different. And I feel the sense of reclaiming not just your voice, but the way that you express yourself on the planet, the way that you show your truth, because you are such an authentic being. And I think there's been an innocence about you in the way that you show up. And I feel that something around that is shifting for you. And it came from heartbreak. It came from a very intense disappointment. It came from maybe feeling lonely, or like you've walked a certain path alone, or things didn't work out the way that you felt they really should have, considering what you put into them. And so there was almost like a loss of faith and a loss of trust at a certain point. And so your voice, and when I say voice, it's just the way that you express yourself, whatever you do for work, whatever you do for fun, the health and the vitality of your relationships. At a certain point, it's like because of that loss of trust, you might have felt insecure about the way that you're showing up, about what you're doing, because you weren't trusting the results anymore because of how many things didn't work out. Maybe all the times you've been hurt, all the times you've been heartbroken, all the times you've just been let down, and all the times that you've given so much from such a pure place, from pure intentions, and that not being given back to you. And I almost want to say, like, unfairly, it's not even that people were giving back to you in the way that they could within their own limitations, because I will call that out and I will say, well, that's just where they're at, right? And that's the way that they're able to show up for you, and it might not meet your expectations because you are so great. But this isn't that. This feels like you gave so much, you poured into things so much, you showed up as your best, you showed up worthy and willing to work on things and to improve and to learn and to expand. This doesn't feel like selfish energy. And it feels like not only were you not reciprocated, but you were kind of taken advantage of. Like, some people deceived you. People wanted to take from you that lightness that you bring, that innocence. It's like something got tarnished along the way. And the unicorn and the rainbows and the stars and all of the magical essence that you're made of started to retreat and pull back and hide and feel cloudy. And it felt really strange for you because you're so used to being able to tap into that very progressive energy, almost like innovative energy that you bring into a room, into a dynamic, into a relationship. And you were not only not met halfway, but it feels like you were knocked down. And it feels like there was a bully. I don't know if I spoke to you about this last time. I'm a little fuzzy on the readings I did last month because there's just been so much going on, and I do tap into your energy as an empath in a certain way that when I remove myself from it and I tap out, I actually forget most of the things that I say. Like most of my friends that I read for, it's so funny. Like they'll be like, "Remember when you said that thing?" And I'm like, "No, I really don't." So forgive me if I already talked about this, but I'm being called to talk about um, some kind of bullying that you've gone through in some way. And it may not be like, in the traditional bully sense, like not in an obvious way, but in a more deceitful way, maybe through lying, maybe through someone taking advantage of you. um, but the message here was, don't let that experience or experiences, because it could have been more than one, tamper with your truth. And all of that to say, to not lose hope and trust and faith. And it is coming back to you. And there is a springtime that's coming for you specifically, where you will begin again. You will blossom. You will flourish. You will start to appreciate the colorfulness of life again, because things feel like they've been rather gray. And this message is for you to know that there is a divine justice that is going to happen, not only for the people who have treated you a certain way, but justice for you, meaning you will be put in a better place than you were before those experiences. Okay. So there's this energy of you becoming a vessel. And the vessel is funny for me because, the traditional Aquarian symbol is the water bearer, right? But in order to bear that water, in order to be able to pour that water onto the planet, that vessel needs to be ready. It needs to be strong enough. It needs to be able to hold that weight, and it needs to be able to flow. The water needs to be able to flow out of it, right? So it needs to be shaped in a certain way from certain material. And that's all that this has been about. And yeah, you could say there's a bit of testing of faith when that happens, right? Because it's not pleasant. It's not a pleasant experience. But you're at the end of that threshold. You really are. And this is about the next 20 years and how you want to show up in the next 20 years. What do you want to be doing? Everything in your life is changing in some way. It's evolving in some way, but all of it is just a representation of your inner state. And so the vessel that's being prepared, which is you, has had to go through certain things, right, to get to this point. But the message around being that vessel is that your trust in what's happening has to be so strong in order for you to be ready to deliver, to serve, to express for whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want your life to be. And in a funny way, and I feel odd saying this, but I'm just going to say it, this is bigger than your dreams coming true. Because your dreams are not as big as what the universe or God has planned for you. But that trust needs to be restored in order for you to receive it. I'm going to talk about one other thing before I dive into the cards that hit me really strong. And it's connected to this trust, but in your beautiful analytical brain, it's almost like there's a discrepancy between like higher 5D, 7D consciousness and the 3D. And the discrepancy is like you might feel like you're in a labyrinth of some sorts or a maze, and it's hard to see and this is in your regular 3D self and in your regular everyday life. And you might feel like this labyrinth is it's so difficult to find the out, to find the escape. It's difficult to see, the conditions are harsh. You might feel that way, but at the same time, there's this divine plan that's being orchestrated, and you feel your greatness. You feel that you're meant for more. You feel, I almost want to say like a god. You feel like you're greater than what's available to you here on the planet, yet very often you feel like you're the one, you're the rat in the labyrinth, right? That's the feeling that you have. I'm not saying that's what you are. You're the other thing, the one that you're tapping into spiritually, which is the higher version of yourself. And the discrepancy there is about trust. And the message that came through is that when you tap into those moments where you feel your greatness and you understand that you have a greater purpose, and that certainly all of this hasn't been in vain, and it must have been aligned to some higher path. Otherwise, this is just cruel, right? And you're absolutely right. But why hasn't it actually manifested in the way that you feel it yet, right? And I want to say that that is coming, and that's the spring and the rainbows and the unicorns that I saw, because it is coming, but you need to be a vessel for that. And for you to be that vessel, you need to be connecting to that higher consciousness every single day. Your spiritual practices, your mental habits, your routines feel out of whack. They feel like sporadic, if at all. And it is connected to you regaining some type of faith in the universe and in yourself. But I want to say that you're meant to take that first step forward and reestablish your spiritual practices so that on a daily basis you can tap into that divine source energy that is available to all of us. And when you do that, you become the bridge or the vessel of your 3D life and the higher consciousness, the 5D life that you feel is available to you, but you haven't been able to pull it down, right? But you're tapped into it. And so the message was about breath work, prayer, Kundalini yoga, church, whatever your practice is, whatever your connection to source is, do that and do a lot of it. Okay. I was shuffling, and this is still at the bottom of the deck, Four of Swords. You are still recovering. You are still healing. You are still trying to reconnect to source and to who you truly are. And whatever you've been through has made you question who that is. Okay. But something beautiful is coming this month. Some difficult times are coming as well. And we're going to get into that. But I want to prepare you for how you can receive the beautiful energy that you've gotten a glimpse of, that you're catching this wave of optimism every now and then. I'm sure you feel it, but there's like a pure intention that you put out in the past that was not honored, was not received well. It was like kicked. It became, there's like this energy of like your pureness got like filthy in some way, and it has to do with people that you surround yourself with, because you're still not understanding your greatness and the way that you should be loving yourself. And so there's some pure intentions that you had in the past that are going to be paying off. And so it's important for these practices to be at an all-time high and for you to actually express gratitude, because there is a contentment that's coming soon. And there's going to be moments where you start to enjoy these sensual, emotional pleasures of life. And it's okay to do that and to treat yourself, and to also make time to like explore new passions, right? The healers are now becoming, if not already, the artists. Okay, so healing, while we're always in the healing process, there's a certain way to express it that doesn't need to be specifically about healing. It needs to be about your creative heart, your creative soul. And I saw some kind of like entity, could be a company, could be a project, a mission, a group, an organization. There's something that you're going to be creating that feels like you're going to pour that reconnection, that rediscovery of yourself into it. There's some kind of alliance and like a joining of forces. You might have some really wonderful people around you as well, in terms of like friends or family, people who are emotionally supporting you. So there might be some kind of alliance that's coming. But I think that that's going to happen. It's going to show itself in your external physical environment because there's a union that's happened within you. It's almost like there's no intermediate now between you and source, and you're able to have these open conversations with the divine. Okay. First card out, Justice. And it's upright. So it's all been in beautiful alignment. I did say that you will be having some sort of divine justice to whoever this person was, or this situation that, really tried you. There's like this energy of like your deepest trials will have some kind of victory, some kind of divine victory, and success is a matter of time, and there hasn't been a mistake in any of this. And the only thing that I could see being in the obstacle of this energy is for you to disconnect from that higher version of yourself, from source energy, from the divine. Like for you to choose to disconnect because you're unhappy with how things have unfolded. I feel like that's the only obstacle in it, right? Is for you to not trust that there is a beautiful sanctuary that's being created in your life. And it might be that it's being created in the 5D right now. And right now you're still dealing with the struggles and the pain of some loss. But if it's happening up here, it's because it's getting ready to come down, but you need to be ready to receive that. Okay. There's a misfortunate event that has happened and has left you unsure of how to function. There's something about functioning and your foundations. And I want you to allow yourself to feel that grief and to feel the emotions that come with that, because it's not healthy to bottle that up because it comes back later. No matter how unbearable it feels, don't bury that bereavement, okay? Allow it to come out, and, you will, through your connection to the divine, through Divine Mother that watches over you, that protects you, she's aware of what's happened. She's aware of the wild games the bullying, the injustice that's been going on in this playground of Earth. You will move forward when the time is right. And you will start to pick yourself up piece by piece in small ways. There might be something cathartic that you need to write. Perhaps it's just talking to your friends. Small ways. It doesn't have to be massive. And piece by piece, it becomes the new path, the new direction, the new beginning, the rebirth. Okay? Now, you may be having dreams as well. As I pull the Four of Cups. You may be having dreams. And Divine Mother's been weaving these stories of truth into your consciousness through your dreams. There is something that you know that is a truth in your bones, and through the distrust and through maybe not loving yourself as much as you used to because of how you've recently been treated or things that have recently gone on in your life, or perhaps defining yourself by your circumstances, there's something that you know in terms of your path, in terms of what's unfolding, what's good for you. Like, you are tapped into that 5D energy, and whatever that is for you, take this as the confirmation from Divine Mother that you're right. And that sometimes her messages will come to you through you, which is why you need to be so in tune with yourself, why you need to love yourself, and why you need to stand up for yourself and have a strong, powerful discernment for yourself as if you were your own Divine Mother. Because her energy comes through you in that way and protects you through you. This is why you've been in Four of Swords energy. So the more you sleep, the more you heal, the more you meditate, you will receive more and more information. Some of you need to do like an honoring, offering ritual to Divine Mother to help you in a more tangible way reconnect. Okay. So the Four of Cups is... I think I'm going to have to get closer to this table because this is going to keep happening. The Four of Cups with the Hermit here and Justice. I just want to show you this energy. It's very beautiful, but it's also a little bit sad, but there's a beauty about it. There's something poetic about this energy, and it's in this recovery, in this solitude, in this sort of grounding, or this rude awakening, or some of you feel like you've been locked in some sort of jail recently. But all of this time of you doing that, of you being in that recovery mode, you've been getting ready. The only thing is that in that solitude, you've had a lot of time to think. Insomnia, anxiety, you've had a lot of time to kind of sit in this pain. And there's a disappointment, there's a disillusionment, there's a focus on somewhere else Like you're not in the present in a sense, and that somewhere else is about you having justice. It's about the wrongs being made right. And I hope that if you got anything from this message so far, it's that is coming for you. Absolutely. So don't worry about it. Worry about yourself. Worry about your mental habits, and even physically getting into a routine that is healthy. Like, if you've kind of let yourself go in some way, and just, it's like there's an energy of like, build out your body, your temple, you build that out first and focus on that, and really commit to it. There's a commitment that's needed. There's like a focus that's needed, because you look checked out, right? It's like you're just somewhere else. There's a focus on health, habits, before anything else, right? This is foundational stuff. You've been here before, but not like this. Okay, this is different. Yeah. This is about that truth. There's something that you want said to you. There's something that you want revealed to you, unveiled to you, communicated to you. I feel like for some of you, if it's not a person, it's like an environment or a situation that you've been in that has kind of, it feels like mindfuck, like that kind of energy. And it's like you want that to be shown to you, admitted to, maybe an apology. It's like you want your freedom and your celebration back. And right now it's like trapped in this energy of like all of the things that were left unsaid, or it's almost like you want to understand a certain chapter in your life and you haven't been able to fully understand it. And there's a lot of vital creative energy that's trapped in that. And I think this is why you're being redirected to connect to source and 5D, rather than to what's happening in the present as much, because when you connect to that, it's like you're redirecting that creative energy and it will feed you, right? And that's kind of what you need right now. It's like you need to be fed energetically, because you were depleted from these misfortunate events that happened, that left you really just unsure of everything. Okay. So you want your groove back. You want to be able to see again, to see where you're headed, right? This is why there was a calling for you to look at the next 20 years. Because right now, you're in the cosmic womb. There's a creative rebirth that's happening for you. And so in this time, it's really good to think about very far ahead, as opposed to just the only stuff you should be focusing on in the right now is, your habits in your body and just your well-being and your rest and things like that. But in terms of making plans, like think more long-term so that you can start to get that spark back. There's something that, it's funny, this card usually gives me good energy and it makes me feel like, you've got a bunch of things going on, a lot of creative projects, and you might, but it's also giving me this feeling of like this aspect of your life feels trapped, like you're not able to be full force in this right now for whatever reason. And it's not for whatever reason, it's because you are supposed to be going inward at this time. And it is the safest place to be, by the way, in the month of September. So you're actually really lucky that you're being told, like, this is your main message, is like, go inward, because at this time there is the energy and the possibility of disturbance in balance, and you're trying to create balance for yourself. So the last thing you need is to disturb that right now, right? It could be in your home life, it could be, you know, it just an upset in the house or in your relationships, some kind of change, right? Like, things happen in September, whatever they are. I'm not saying something specific is going to happen to Aquarius, but it's more like that energy is there, and it is present and available to all in September. And so to avoid that, just go inward, right? Because this feels like, with the Four of Cups here, the Nine of Swords, there is a period of instability here for you. And, you know, you are being asked to address with whomever you need to, like the fundamental issues in the foundation, whatever the cracks are in the foundation, so that you can heal and be in that hermit cave and download the clarity that you need so that you can move forward in a way that is comfortable for you. And whatever that cave is for you, like if you have to suddenly move, or if you're in a situation where you're not in the place where you want to be, it's important to make most of the space that you have and keep your soul grounded and calm through any changes that may appear. Okay. Bottom of the deck, the Lovers. Your close interpersonal relationships are at the foundation of all of this. So whether that means you're leaning on people at this time, great, wonderful, or you're being reflected back through your relationships, this disappointment. Okay. Just don't let this turn into depression, loss of hope, suffering. Because there's always a gift in this card. There's a gift that you may not be looking at because you're looking elsewhere. What's an obstacle of this Knight of Wands? Yeah. This is just, this keeps coming up. If this relationship hasn't ended, because I think for a lot of you it has, and it's the remaining pain that you've had to carry, that you were left carrying alone. Perhaps there wasn't closure, perhaps, whatever this puzzle is that you were trying to figure out, whatever you want revealed to you that you already know, it didn't come. If you haven't ended it though, the relationship itself is the obstacle to you feeling that free creative energy that you normally have, where you go for what you want without even thinking it through sometimes. That's like the gift that you have, is like you can just move forward into something and you're like, I'll figure it out when I get there. And that's really a gift and a beautiful energy that you have. But there's fragments of you, of your soul still in this. And that's why this healing is so important for you. And for you to also break away from anything that has been extremely depleting, extremely unhealthy. I love how in this deck, the star card is literally you connecting to Star Mother, higher consciousness, 5D, everything we've been talking about. This is you. You are a child of the divine. You are a child of the stars. You are a star. And someone or something or multiple people didn't want you to know that, or wanted you to doubt that, or wanted you to be as miserable as them. They couldn't honor this. How can you honor greatness? You can't, unless you are great yourself. I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful you're here. And I'm so grateful I get to talk to you. That's all that it's about for me, is to connect with souls like you on this level. The rest doesn't make sense. You are at the end of this threshold. Your sacral energy, your womb energy, the cosmic force, your gifts, they're coming back to you. There's going to be, again, a lot of possibilities and creative outlets for you. And I feel you becoming somewhat of, I almost want to say like this creative mastermind that has multiple things going on at the same time. But it all stems from your own magic, from your own fulfilled heart, from your connection to the universe. And it is magical and it is mystical, even if you don't categorize it that way. But it is through art, it is through expression in some way. This is like the artist. And because you're still doing all this healing, this recovering, you are in this sort of energy where you feel held back still from this creative potential that you have. But that's okay, because contentment in these expressions is really coming soon. And that actually reminds me that I saw this building when I was meditating, and it was like when a building has already been under construction for a while, and now they're working on like the exterior details, and like there was like a marquee and it said coming soon, and that was you. It's the build is done, and now we're just fine-tuning the details that are going to make it so much more beautiful. But there is like an unveiling. So whatever it is that you're wanting, there is an unveiling that is happening. But the unveiling, make no mistake, is about you. It is you. Because anything that you do on the planet, any person that you attract, is always going to be a reflection of you. And so it's time for you to tap back into that happiness that you can feel, that you're capable of feeling. Okay? Spirit, what's the timing of this? 9 of Cups. That's you. This is enlightenment. This is really a spiritual reading. It's like the timing is depending on your readiness for enlightenment. I've been talking about the vessel. It's like there's some kind of transcendence happening for you. It feels biblical. I was getting like Adam and Eve stuff, and when I was meditating, I was getting union, but it felt like a union between you and God in some way. or that source energy, and it's almost like you've been prepped and you're being ready to receive all of that energy. And so anything that you've created in the past, it's like it couldn't have worked. There was like miscarriage of projects, of relationships, of situations. Like they just couldn't really come to fruition because it was going to have to be from a different energetic space. And I feel like the 20 years, the next 20 years, they are going to look very different because you're different. I love a deep reading, honestly. Like I don't know how to do superficial, but like this feels like super deep. Okay, this is like when I'm talking to my mirror. You know, there's like I'm not holding anything back here. Next steps, yeah, I think I told you're gonna have a lot of things to choose from. There's a lot of things on the table. You might not be ready to look at them. You might not really see them right now, or they're just not actually being made to in your awareness at this time because you are healing. But they're there. But this is the knowing here. This is like when I said there's like a truth. There's something that you know of, like a certain path, a certain direction. It's like you already know, and you're waiting for it. Oh, this is making more sense now. So you're waiting. You're waiting to know what that is externally from like some sort of guarantee of like success or something, or you getting like a certain phone call, or like there's something that you're waiting on that it's almost like this is old energy, whatever it is that you're waiting on. And the energy is like of you being kind of in and out of certain projects and like making certain decisions, but there's like a knowing that you already have of what the thing is, what the path is. And look how he's like looking over here, but yet this one this one is like saying loud and clear, like it's me, like he already knows. And so Spirit speaking to you so beautifully is saying not only that you already know, but it's what your heart wants. Okay, this new beginning is like there's a creative heart that is being born out of this pain that you've gone through. There's a creativity from your heart. And this is the artist who is experienced, right? This is the artist who lives from their art. So there's a truth here that is an emotional truth for you of who you truly are. And that acceptance is what brings this new beginning and what brings your success. Okay. Wow. These are a lot of cards. I was wondering if this was going to come out because this is kind of how I felt you in the meditation. I mean, not only is this traditionally an air sign card, but the Queen of Swords is how you felt. It's like, I think I talked about the rainbow being different this time. It's not as innocent. It's like the rainbow has like a purpose and it knows when to like unleash, when to paint the world with its colors and when not to. It's like it has direction in a sense. And this is how I feel you. So the advice is for you to approach everything from this place now, right? From that wisdom, from that truth, from that discernment. You also have the Six of Pentacles. I think this came out last month as well. So whatever comes your way, right? The Seven of Cups, all those options, or whomever comes your way, you know, remember that at the very least, you need to be matched. At the very least. And ideally, you want to be given even more than you give, because you give so much, and not only from such a pure place, but it's from a divine place. And so people are connected. This is why I was feeling the word godly, because people feel connected to God when they're with you. And so you can become this light that attracts bugs and leeches and like these critters and these lower vibrational beings, right? So your discernment needs to be at an all-time high, that at the very least you'll be matched in energy. And anything that you pour into, there's an infinity symbol here. I don't know if you can see that. But anything that you pour into at this time, it's like it will bear fruit. And you might be seeing signs and certain synchronicities, like when you pay for, let's say you go get a refund and you get like a certain amount of money back, and then you buy something else and it turns out to be the same amount. Like this reciprocated energy might be in your energy right now, in your awareness, and you might be seeing it, of like the universe saying like whatever you put your energy into is what's going to grow. But I think because the Queen of Swords is here, is like, now you're understanding who you are and the energy that you bring, and that it's divine and it needs to be protected. And just because you are protected by your guides, by your angels, by your ancestors, like, doesn't mean that you need to put yourself in situations where you're not honored. Okay. There needs to be a level of devotion that you already have, that you already carry, that you are also given. And if that's not there, feel free to decline. But they want you to celebrate. They want you to tap back into that magic, to surround yourself with people who love you, the true you. Okay? Lean on those people at this time. But there will come a point in this month where you will feel like the green light. You will get the green light. You will feel like the go ahead. You will move forward. And all of that energy that you've been purging, and all that residue, it'll get to a point where there's nothing else to purge, right? It'll be like, okay, I'm ready to go. Or even if there's still remnants of it, it's like the vision is clear and your creative power is back. And so you'll actually move through it in a very determined, fast-paced way. It's the outcome for September. Clarify that. I think there's a, and this came through earlier, like there's a reconnect. There's a reconnection that's happening within yourself that is somehow going to manifest externally. You have the Page of Cups and the Six of Cups. This is feeling like, yes, it's like your growth and your healing and this new way of being that you're going to be testing out because you have been in hermit mode for so long. But this also feels like the relationships, the people in your life that you're being called to, there's something around friendship circles and family dynamics that are calling you home in a way. And there's something that is going to be during this time that you're in this process, like there is a bit of a delay before you get that green light. And I almost feel like the end of September brings this time for you to reset with those who love you. Like this is the energy I'm getting from this. Like the delay is on purpose because there's some kind of love, nurturing, and caretaking that you need. I think we talked about this last month where I was like, treat yourself like you're having surgery. That's just come back to me of like, this is like a safe haven, but of people, of connection, right? Before you had that like on your own. It's like you were tending to your own wounds, and it's like now you're in this energy of needing some kind of community or connection to some type of social circle, but it's feeling like soul family, if not actual family. Okay. And because after this delay, yeah. So during this delay, before I go to after, wow, look at that. During this delay, this is what you're dealing with. This is the strength that you've had to have to overcome 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords. This is so much deceit. This is like actual betrayal, sabotage. Like you've been through a lot. It feels unbearable, but you've had the strength to go through this. But this is still there. Like you're still dealing with this during this timeout that I felt you were like feeling like a little bit imprisoned. So during this timeout, that's what you're dealing with. And it's like you're almost, it's like I almost see you like grabbing your stuff and going to the people that nurture you, that make you feel better. So it's almost like you're in phase 2, right? The first phase is like no one can see you because your face looks like a punching bag, you know? And now you're like, okay, I'm ready to mingle. I'm ready to lean on the people that love me, because you guys like heal in solitude, right? You cried out forever. And then once you're ready to like process, then you're like, okay, let me reach out to my people. So it feels like phase 2. And then phase 3 is going to be, I feel like playing out more in December. But it's going to be like this energy where you're like, I'm ready to go. And I know all the things that I want to do. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good because I worked on my habits and my body and all my things. And I have all these ideas, and like the energy is just going to get better and better. But you're in that phase 2 at this time. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. And I said December. And this is like the card for December. That's wild. So it's like magician energy. You are just going to recreate. Right? This is the new beginning, and it's going to be from such a different space. And it's like you're being prepped for that, right? You are the vessel. So beautiful. I'm going to pull a couple of ancient stone opals. I love this deck. It has a very grounding quality to it, obviously, with it being stones. Okay, wonderful. I hope you guys have been enjoying this. There's like a lot of yummy energy here, and it's taken a lot of pain to get to this sanctuary. See the beauty, gratitude, the sacred is everywhere. The edge, take a chance, do something different. And there's a rainbow there. That's amazing. I don't know if you see that. Sorry about that. My card ran out of memory. Spirit, give me one more. The cave. Yeah, okay. Love it. Retreat, timeout, self-care, slow down. This is definitely the energy that you've been in, the energy that you're still in, but you will, through this, see the beauty. The sacred is everywhere. With you connecting to your more like childhood friends, your family, through like whatever these older connections are from the past that make you feel loved and good and yummy. You're going to start to feel that gratitude again, right? And through that, you're going to feel that natural calling, right? To come to the edge, and you're going to feel like, you know what? I think I'm ready. I'm ready to do something different. I'm ready to take a chance. Okay. Oh my God. And Sanctuary came out again. Not again, but like I've been talking about Sanctuary. Harmony and balance, joy and contentment. Yes. That is coming soon. It's absolutely there. Not only is it your divine right, but it's like your pure intentions will be paying off. Spirit, give me a moon magic message for the month of September for my Aquarians. I am curious about my true nature and I seek to understand myself. Yeah, this is about you looking in the mirror at this time while you're in this cave and just understanding where you are in this labyrinth, like who you are at this time that you're in the labyrinth, as opposed to like, how do I get out? It's like you've done the whole like, how do I get out thing multiple times. You've gotten out and you've repeated certain cycles, right? So like this is really just about taking it in, taking it slow, and understanding the change that's happening from within you. And that's going to really lead you and guide you full steam ahead. Okay, my loves, that is your reading. I love you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, drop me a comment.